All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to say call on Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rekakwadash. Giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rekakwadash, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the God of gods, my Father in heaven in Israel. No, my Father in heaven. You know, much love to him. Much love to his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, the Muhammad Shiach, the light of this world, um, the light of this world, you know, the one whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ and all these other names that don't got no power, you know. And much love to the beautiful children of Israel, you know, whoever they may be, the chosen of Israel, whoever they may be among the children of Israel. Much love to you guys, much love. Shout out to the prophets of Israel, the new covenant prophets, most importantly. Much love to you guys, you know, especially you guys, because you guys do the work. You guys showed us the truth. You guys showed us that we could be saved through the blood of Yahweh Shai and join the new covenant that way, so we could be protected and cleansed, even though we're not perfect. We can that'll, you know, that helps a lot, you know. But much love to those brothers. Shout out to the beautiful women, the Aquaf, the beautiful women, whoever they may be. It's not a lot of you beautiful women that's in the truth. And whether you got a man or not, you still fear the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh. You listen and you learn in silence. Coming back at you with another video through the power and spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Today's video is called The Chosen People of Israel. You know, because there's been a lot of stuff going on, you know, with the chosen children of Israel. And a lot of our people, you know, they don't understand how special they are. They don't understand, you know, the times that we in, the revealance of what Yahweh is trying to do for them, and how, you know, he improving our lives and making us better by revealing who we are, you know. And it's just a beautiful thing, you know. A lot of our people, you know, they got to be reminded of how important they are in the eyes of Yahweh, and how important it is to be with him and to come back. You know, repent means to return. You know, pray means to beg. You know, and repent means to return. You gotta beg him. You know, to be cleansed. You gotta beg him to make your life better. You gotta beg him, you know, to pull you into that covenant. All kind of stuff. You know, because you can't just simply just walk in and be cleansed, you know, and you full of drugs. You got a lot of other things that you believe in. You got all these weird ideologies. All that got to go. All that got to be cleansed. All that got to leave before you come into the new covenant. So as far as I'm concerned, we can read that real quick. Let me get my tablet out, because I don't automatically know all these Bible scriptures like that. And that is okay. I'm about to be holding all of this, man. I'm juggling these. Today is a beautiful day too. The rain finally stopped out here in Vegas. I pulled my foot last time, so I couldn't go. I do some inside every now and then. Look, I don't know. A lot of stuff has changed about me. You know, my enthusiasm for the Lord is there, but it's not as big as it was. I'm gonna be honest, but I still believe, I still love Yahweh, I still give him the respect, and I still come out here, you know, because I know what's good for me and I know what's bad for me, you know. So, and I fear Yahweh too, you know, so I come out here. But, you know, back in the days I used to be zealous, but I don't know, something had happened, you know, and I kind of slowed down. I'm not as frantic about the truth. I'm not freaking out over it anymore. I guess I got a little bit more calmer with it, you know. Not as turned up as I used to be, and out here damn near fighting people to believe, and, you know, damn near getting into it, and, you know, damn near fighting white people. You know, I kind of slowed down a lot. More calmer, more collected, you know, more, hold on. Yeah, more calmer, more collected, you know, just more, I'm not as forceful as I used to be with the truth, you know. It's just a little bit more better for me like that. Oh, he on the phone, I don't want to interrupt him. But it's a little bit more better for me like that. Like back in the days, I wasn't in order, but I was hard. You know, I was zealous. You know, I was hard. You know, I had a zeal for the Lord, but not according to knowledge. How they say, you know, at least try to get right and get in order before I do stuff like this. And, you know, and at the same time, I was low-key attracting the wrong kind of spirits, the wrong kind of people, you know, and inviting everybody in to come help and trying to get people to be a part of the truth and all that. It low-key don't work like that, you know. And I've been pushing this hard and this long because I fear and I love Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. You know, I'm just being honest, you know, on here. You know, I ain't all perfect, but, you know, I love Yahweh Hashem Yahushai too much not to come out here and try to spread the word and do what I can and everything in my power to help, you know. And it's just like that, you know. I was with people, you know, now they're gone, and now it's just me, you know. But I do care. I do give a fuck, and I'm not perfect, but I'm going to keep coming out here no matter what, because I know what's right, and I know what to fear, and I know what I'm afraid of. You know, and I love Yahweh Hashem Yahushai too much. And I got tons of videos, and none of them really been heard, you know, but it doesn't matter. You know, I'm not going to stop, you know. So, I mean, I could reach people on the highways and byways. You can reach them quicker here than you can on the internet, especially when you're not up there like that. And that's why I got me a new YouTube page, and I'm trying to get in order right there and do it better, you know. And I done reached a lot of people with just one short. And it felt good, but I gotta keep building, keep going on from there. I just want to reach people. I don't do this for no money. I don't care about the money. I'm well taken care of by the Lord. I do this just to spread the word. So when you come to my YouTube account, it ain't about me begging for money or nothing like that. It's just for the word, education purposes only, and that's it. That's it for my people. You know, I love my people. I know that we the chosen people, and yeah. And before I get into the new covenant part, you know, I had a dream last night, and it was about the people. You know, it was about my people. And I guess at first I was at home, minding my own business in the dream, like dreaming normal dream, California, Los Angeles, whatever. And then next thing you know, the dream turned into I was in like some sort of I don't know if it was like a church or whatever, but it was a lot of people. It was a lot of our people. And I think it was like church, and they was celebrating and all of that. And then one of the black dudes started kissing this white dude, and he was kissing this white dude, and everybody's like, oh shit. And then the white dude had said something, I don't know, I think he said like, you don't think I can be like this and I can still believe in God. And they was all partying and having fun, and I was a part of that crowd. And when I seen that, I tried to make my way out, you know, of the crowd. But, you know, long story short, I usually, I'm going to say I get visitations from Yahweh. Like every now and then, they be rare, you know, because it was a moment between me and Yahweh Hashem Yahushai where I wasn't perfect and I wasn't getting what I wanted. I actually got angry at him, and it was weird. I got angry at him. I blamed him. You know, I went against him. I didn't go against him, but I was angry at him, and I blamed him for a lot of things that was happening with me. And I had an obsession with this one person, and I wanted this person, but times had changed. This person had moved on, and I tried each and every way to get this person back into my life. It just wasn't working, you know. And a lot of pressure had been put on me. A lot of stuff was going down. A lot of drama that wasn't my drama. A lot of chaos with my jobs and coming to a new job, and it was chaos there. And I blamed Yahweh. I did. I blamed the Lord for it. I was angry at the Lord for it. And I don't know. I did a lot of stuff back then that I wasn't proud of, and I blamed him for it, and I was angry for it, and it was my doing. And it just, a lot of stuff like that was meant to happen just to, you know, make me stronger, you know. But I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I don't know, that shit, you know, it hurt me to blame Yahweh Hashem Yahushai when it was just me the whole time. I just got mad at him. I did. I got upset with the Lord, but I lost track of what I was gonna say. Crazy, huh? But, you know, nonetheless, the dream was about him keeping an eye on all of us. He's always watching, you know. And Oh yeah, I got back on track. But the whole point is he's keeping an eye on Israel. He's watching the Israelites. He's watching each and every one of us, all the time, every day. And the things that we do, and he's realizing. No, he not realizing. He's seeing that a lot of us ain't having no changes. It's not improving ourselves. It's not doing better, and a lot of us Israelites is trying is throwing away the fact of how special they are and how important they are to the Lord, and they're not acknowledging Him. They still doing whatever they want. That's what I seen in the dream. I seen the congregation, I seen the Israelites in the congregation, all of us, but like I guess it was like the 2/3, and then I seen the white man in the midst, and he was kissing on an Israelite brother. It was just the weirdest dream. And like I said, he turned around when the other Israelite brother was like, "That's not right." He turned around and said, "I can be like this, and the Lord won't judge me." And he was kicking it, and he was dancing with another Israelite brother, and the Israelites was like that, and the wicked was like that. They wouldn't change their ways, and Yahweh Hashem Yahushai was seeing that, And like I said, every now and then I get visitations from Yahweh just by him, just him checking on me, just him watching, watching me and checking on me every now and then. Like I said, because like I got mad at Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and he was sending me all kind of visions and all kind of dreams of promise, trying to comfort me. But instead of the comfort, I was in so much pain during that time. I felt like torment, And the more and more I was the more and more I felt like I was in torment, the more and more visions I had. It was weird. I had a lot of visions of the end. I had a lot of visions of people that I missed, people that I cared about, more visions of prophecy. And I had to ask you how about Shem Yahushai during that time that it was too much to stop the visions. And they did. They did stop. But I fell back into sin. I'm not going to lie. I fell back into a lot of sin. I felt lost. I felt weak. I felt, I wasn't strong. And my dependence on the Lord crumbled, A lot of stuff had happened when I was a little bit younger, like 5-6 years ago. A lot of my dependence on Him slightly crumbled. Like I was gone, like for a time. But I had to rebuild myself and take care of myself. But long story short, yeah, the visions had ceased. So like every now and then, every blue moon, the Lord like send a vision like to let me know that He's always watching. He's always watching. He's always listening. He get me up to date on what's going on. He's watching Israel. He's watching everybody. He's watching the ones that is not doing good. He's watching the ones that don't care. He's watching us all, But mainly that one was the congregation of the 2/3, and they still doing their thing. They still being in their wickedness, and Yahweh see that, because the Lord know. I know I'm not in church right now. I was in church in that dream, and in the dream in the church they was celebrating the wrong God, and they was doing sodomy, And it was just weird for me to see something like that, because I don't like church, and the sodomy part, it was just nasty, but it was the truth, It was their sin and they lust, and how they fell in love with this world, and how they fell in love with the white man. They fell in love with his ways and his ideologies, and the freedom to do whatever you want, this corruption. They fell in love with that, and that's what Yahweh is looking at. He's looking at the sin that Israel keep on committing without them trying to change and trying to do better, despite them being a special people, because they are a special people. But it's no signs of them being better. It's no signs of them changing. But like I said, every now and then I have a vision sent from Yahweh Hashem Yahushai just to check on me, just to see how I'm doing, or send me a message, and that was one of the messages. I had one more dream before I get into the new covenant and get further into my little lesson. I had one more dream, and this dream was about Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and I was in somebody's house kicking it with some people, and I was enjoying myself. We was having fun. And we was in the neighborhood just chilling, and out of nowhere you hear this loud voice, very, very deep, like like rolling thunder, deep voice, and it came from the sky. And I was in the house and I heard it too, and it was so loud and it was so powerful. I next thing you know, I come outside and everybody is running running away from where the voice is coming from. And it was gigantic. It was like deep, like thunder. And it was saying something. And and automatically I knew that was Yahweh. I knew it was the Lord. I knew it was the Lord. And when I came outside and the people was looking, I looked and it was like two giant dark clouds, like two big giant dark clouds. And I knew it was the Lord. I knew it was the Lord, but it was the way that he came, and the people, they all heard it, and they just start screaming and they just start running from it. But I knew, and I was just telling my friends in the dream how much I knew. But that's just Yahweh coming to visit, and he'll come visit in some scary ways. He'll come visit you in some visions, to tell you a message, to keep you on your toes, just to show you that he's there and he's watching, at all times. You'll have these and it's funny how you'll have these visions and you're not thinking about the Bible, you're not thinking about nothing. It just happens, I don't know how to describe it. It just appears out of nowhere. So we can get with we can continue the thing with the new covenant and the new promise about that. Yeah, just a reminder though, because Yahweh will come check. He is visiting the world in which he made. And in return, he making a visitation to all the Israelites. He'll come, and sometime he can come through a sign, in the sky, like you see in the UFOs or whatever you want to call them, but those are the chariots of the Lord. He can come in that sign. He can come as a sign as one of the prophets. He can come as a sign as a random person, a random Israelite. It's like many ways he can come. He can come in your dreams. But we call them visions because dreams be retarded and they don't make sense. But you can make sense out of a vision. Like some visions that you may have about, some biblical event, it be real and it feel real, and they be like so surreal and so real that when you wake up, it's like you woke up and you damn near could have thought that dream was your reality. As crazy as the dreams can be, because the dreams, the visions be in the realm of the imagination, so just by being there, it just feel real, like it's weird how to describe it, but it could feel very real, let's go to that. Let me see if I can pull it up right here. Such a nice day. It's gonna be cold tonight. 65 right now. Okay, we in Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 1. And it says, at the same time, saith Yahweh, it says, I will be the God of all the families of Israel, and they shall be my people. So this is how special the children of Israel are in the eyes of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Like, and he loved all the families. He even loved the 2/3, but they gotta repent and they gotta come back. So he won't judge them to the old covenant, and he won't judge them to for their sins and all the wrong that they've done. So it says, thus saith Yahweh, the people who were left from the sword found grace in the wilderness, even Israel, with loving and kindness I have drawn thee. Right, it's time to come back. The stuff that we went through and all of that was just the punishment. But now the punishment is coming to an end, and Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is calling back his people, all of us. So it says with an everlasting love. So despite us being in slavery, despite us being punished, we had to go through that. That was punishment, divine punishment from Yahweh Shem Yahushai, from us turning away from him, and worshiping other gods and worshiping worshiping other gods, false gods, when we were the gods, being a part of this world, being with the nations, lowering ourselves from our godly state. That's exactly what happened. Because we was in a higher state. Like I said, it's disrespectful for it's disrespectful for the God for us being the gods to lower our state to the level of humans and mortals. It's disrespectful, and for us to leave Yahweh Shem Yahushai to worship gods that aren't real, and to mingle with the nations, and to mingle with the nations, and to take on the ideologies, and lower ourselves to their standards. It's just wickedness. So it says, Yahweh had appeared to me saying, yeah, I have loved thee with an everlasting love, meaning that Yahweh Shem Yahushai always loved us. It's just that when you break the rules and when you make mistakes like that and you do certain things, it is consequences. It's that simple. The Bible is real simple, man. So like, how people be having hatred for Yahweh Shem Yahushai, how our people be getting angry and asking dumb questions like, if the Lord loved me, then why he put me here? It's because he loved you. That's why he put you there, because you made a mistake. Now, each and every one of us got to understand our mistakes and understand the things that we done. We ain't got to remember our past lives, but to a degree, you got to remember, all the wrong that you've done to get yourself here in this position. And you got to remember, like, you know what? It's not Yahweh's fault. It's my fault. You got to take accountability, and that's what the 2/3 don't want to do. They don't want to take accountability for the wrong that they've done. They just want to blame Yahweh Shem Yahushai for why they in the position that they in, without happen to have no real explanation. Happen to have the right explanation. Happen to read the Bible and get all the answers. They just want to blame Yahweh Shem Yahushai, like, oh, the Lord is in control of everything. So why did he put us in this position? Why has we been in punishment? He can just take us out of this punishment and put us where we need to be. Yahweh got a control over everything, even my life. So, why am I even in this? Like, they got sharp tongues. They got sharp tongues. They don't understand, or they refuse to accept that there's an order of operation for what Yahweh Shem Yahushai does. It's an order to all this. It's rules. It's consequences. It's a lot of things that's held in place to have it the way it's designed. It's just the way it's designed, and they refuse to accept that. That's why they be like, oh, the Lord is in control of everything, so why am I put in this category to where I gotta suffer? And you're not understanding how serious this shit is. This shit is serious. How you doing? You're Israelite according to the Bible? All right, have a good day. It's that serious though. You gotta really have that understanding. So it says, yeah, I have loved thee with an everlasting love. Therefore, with loving and kindness, I call thee. And that's what he's doing. How you doing, brother? Hello. You're Israelite according to the Bible? Oh, have a good day. It's just a message for you. I didn't want to stop you from your day. It says, Yahweh hath appeared of old unto me, saying, yeah, I have loved thee with an everlasting love. Therefore, with loving and kindness, I have drawn thee. So a lot of us that believe, today, a lot of us that love Yahweh Shem Yahushai, we actually been called, and we've been called from all walks of life, from some unusual places, but Israelites are Israelites. We come from everywhere. But that's how the Lord draws us. He says, with loving and kindness I have drawn thee. And that's what that new covenant. That's what the new covenant is there for. So you're not going to be judged. So when you get into the new covenant, you're not going to be judged for your past sins. You're not going to be judged for none of that. You're going to be free. And the new covenant is freedom. And like what Yahweh Shai say? The truth shall set you free. And that truth is the new covenant is a part of the truth, and it's supposed to set you free. So when you discard a lot of the habits that you do, you discard all the drugs, you discard all of that, your ideologies. Some people be into ideologies and different beliefs. They got to get rid of that. Sometimes it don't be the drugs that we into that traps us. Some people can be sober, but they could believe in the wrong thing, but it be like that, and you got to cast all of that aside. Once all of that is done, then you can come into the new covenant, be clean. For the men, for the brothers that's called, you go to the highways and byways, you do what you can, to spread the truth. And for those of us that their purpose is just to believe, you just help the Hebrew Israelite prophets, the new covenant prophets, help them. To me personally, I do both, but I got to get back on to where I got to start sending more money to King Yahweh the Maccabees, helping him out, because he's actually on the path to where he's reliving all of this. And he is one of them prophets, so he got to, relive all of this. And he gave everything up for the word. And I respect that, So I got to start sending more my tithings to him. And I don't care whether I'm on the highways and byways. I do tithings and all that. It's just my life is just changing in so many ways, But, that's no excuse. I do need to send him something. But, with those brothers that's called, you send tithings to the prophets, and give them what you can. You ain't got to give them everything, and they not there to get rich. They just there to survive. They're reliving all of they reenacting all the righteous acts, So you got to respect those kind of cats. I respect King Yahweh the Maccabees for that, And that's how I go, But it says with an everlasting love, therefore loving and kindness I have drawn thee. So with that being said, with that everlasting and kindness, the Lord ain't never stopped loving us. It's that simple. And it says, with loving and kindness I have drawn thee. The Lord is no longer against us. He is drawing us in with this new covenant. That way, he like, come, everybody come. I don't care what you've done. I don't care about your sins no more. I don't care about none of that. Put everything off of this world and become clean, and do the best you can to be clean. And come into this new covenant. So, change your habits. It's about change. It's about, returning to the former. So it says, again, I will build thee, and thou shalt be built, O Virgin of Israel. Thou shalt again be adorned with thy trembles, and shall go forth in the dances of them that make merry. That's right. He's trying to lead us back to happiness. He's trying to prepare us for to be reborn, to be together, it says, thou shalt be adorned again with thy trembles, all of the talents and all the things that the children of Israel are good at, all the things that they do. Yahweh remembered that, and past inventions, to their genius, to some Israelites making it to richness. All kinds of things, all kinds of things that make them special. So it says, and the dances and shall go forth in the dances of them that make merry. We're going to be happy again. So it says, thou shalt plant vines upon the mountains of Samaria. The planters shall plant and shall eat them as common things. It says, for there shall be a day that the watchmen upon the Mount Ephraim shall cry, arise ye, let us go up to Zion, unto Yahweh our God. So with that being said, that's the prophet's job, to get us to come back. That's why on highways and byways, signing, crying, and reading the Bible and reenacting, the righteous acts, and getting our people, compelling our people to come into the covenant. Because the Lord is opening his gates wide open, man. That says, for thus said Yahweh, sing with gladness for Jacob. Right, for Jacob, for the children of Israel. Nobody else is going to get this kind of treatment. No other nation is going to get this kind of welcoming but Jacob, because it's time for them to wake up. It's time for them to come home. It's awesome. It's awesome. And shout among the chief of the nations, proclaim ye, praise ye, and say, O Yahweh, save thy people, the remnant, the chosen of Israel. So it's the 1/3 that believe among the 2/3. So the 1/3 are chosen, the elect, the children of Israel, is the ones that Yahweh is calling for, the ones who will listen to the word and who will acknowledge the Lord. It says, behold, I will bring them from the north country and gather them from the coast of the earth, from all the parts of the earth, and a lot of us went to America. The North Country that he's talking about is America. It says, and with them the blind and the lame, the woman with child, and her that travaileth with child together, a great company shall turn thither. So it don't matter if you believe in Yahweh Shem Shai when you was blind, when you was handicapped. A woman that got kids and all that, she believed all of them gonna be taken. All of them gonna be called. I mean, not taken, all of them gonna be called. It says, and behold, I will bring them from the north country and gather them from the coast of the earth. Oh, I already read that part. It says, they shall come with weeping, and with supplications will I lead them. So that we're going to be coming crying, and, we're going to be coming upset. Well, we're going to be coming out of the process of our suffering for those that make it out of this calamity that's coming. And it says, and with supplications I will lead them. So he going to have everything that we need to take care of us, and he going to wipe our sadness away. All from the people that we lost in these wars that's coming, from these grand diseases, from the terror of the night, from these soldiers, from this rebirth, this restart that the white man got going on, that Agenda 2030, because that is a real thing, and from us being cast out of society for what we believe and for what we care about, because we didn't want to take that grain of rice in your skin, because you didn't want to take that, you got cast out of the society. So we homeless, we bums. We just trying to survive. Plus, we on the run. A lot of us became fugitives during that time. We being hunted down because we know the truth, and we still hold fast to that. So he's sending, the white man sending soldiers and guns. You seeing a lot of death. You seeing a lot of our people get put to death. Some of your people got put to death upon escape. When you're trying to get out of there, you lost a couple people, and all of that was meant to happen. For those of us that knew the truth, we still gonna be sad, because we love our children, we love our brothers, we love our sisters, we love Israel. But at the same time, we knew what was gonna happen. We knew the truth. We knew what was coming. We knew. So it wasn't no surprise that that all of that took place and all of that happened. Like Yahweh said, the enemy shall come as a flood, but the spirit of Yahweh shall lift up a standard against them. So that's just what it is. He came to protect, but we knew the Bible, we knew everything. So it's going to be a lot of us that's not going to be surprised. It's going to be a lot of us that's not going to be surprised, but it's going to be a lot, because a lot of us was prepared. A lot of us was prepared to leave everything behind and move on. We cut off our family, we cut off our friends, we cut off everything that we've known. So when the time came and when this restart came, the dollar collapsed, all of that, martial law in the streets, the riots, the mass death, the famine, the pestilence, the sword came. They was prepared to leave on their own. I know a lot of y'all seen the Book of Eli. The Book of Eli, that movie is a perfect description of what you're going to encounter when you encounter a prophet. They're going to be, some of them going to have the power. They're going to have the supernatural power to protect themselves, so they're going to be able to lead people. And then you're going to have some prophets that's going to be by themselves and upon their own journey, And this is all a part of them regrouping when they lost. But it's going to be so much chaos, it's going to be hard to find another Israelite. It's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy, because a lot of them ain't going to be able to trust the people. And when a person say that they're Israelite, they going to fuck around. Salakia, they gonna have that grain of rice in their skin, and they gonna be like, oh, I'm an Israelite, and they even gonna know the name of Yahweh Shem Shai. They probably gonna know, and be like, I changed my ways and this and that. And no matter how you try to test them, how to try to evaluate, some of them gonna be clever, and some gonna get into the congregation and they gonna spoil it. And then you're gonna be wondering why the martial law is storming the place. You're gonna be wondering why you got arrested because you let this one person in that said they was an Israelite, and they was actually a double agent. They was for the restart. They was for the reset, and they got you all arrested. You got to watch out for that. So some of them gonna have the supernatural powers to discern that. Some of them gonna be by themselves because they're not gonna be able to trust nobody. So that it's gonna be real time, man. It says, they shall come with weeping and with supplication, I will lead them. It says, I will cause them to walk by the rivers of water in a straight way, meaning that it's not going to be easy. Straight mean difficult, it's not going to be easy, bro. But they're going to be by the rivers of water in a straight way. We're going to be taken care of along the way, no matter, because survival, it's going to be survival of the fittest. It's going to be hard, man. And these times to come, it's already getting harder. The closer and closer we get to these times, the harder and harder it's going to become. That's why, like I said, you're going to be seeing a lot of prophets that's going to be on the road by themselves. They're not going to have nobody. They're going to tear away from everything that they know. It's going to hurt, but that's what they got to do in order to survive these events. It says, wherein they shall not stumble, for I am a father to Israel, and Ephraim is my firstborn. So they're not going to fail. Ain't nothing going to happen to them. They're going to survive, they're going to make it, and they're going to get to them chariots upon the nuclear day. It says, hear the word, hear the word of Yahweh, O ye nations, and declare it in the isles far off, and say, he that scattered Israel will gather him, and keep him as a shepherd, keep him as a shepherd does his flock. For Yahweh have redeemed Jacob, and ransomed him from the hand of him that was stronger than he. Right, from those of us, from the white man that we can't overpower. We can't stop him, but Yahweh can stop him. So it says, therefore they shall come and sing in the height of Zion, and shall flow together to the goodness of Yahweh, for wheat and for wine and for oil and for the young flock and of the herd. It says, and their soul shall be as a watered garden, and they shall not know sorrow anymore at all. He's going to take all of that away. He's going to take all of that away. So why the world and why the rest of them 2/3 that didn't repent and return is suffering, the Israelites that believed and repented and came back and did what they had to do, even though it hurt them, their sorrows and all of that melted away. They was more taken care of than anybody. It was finding the 144,000 and finding the true children of Israel in these times is like finding an oasis in a paradise in a desert in the seas of sand, hoping that it's not a mirage. But that's how serious it's going to get in these times to come. So it says they then shall the virgin rejoice and dance, and both young men and old together, for I will turn their mourning into joy, and I will comfort them and make them rejoice from their sorrow. Right, meaning that we're not going to feel sorry no more. All of that is going to pass. It's just for a time. It says, and I will satiate the soul of the priests with fatness, and my people shall be satisfied with my goodness, says Yahweh. Meaning that the 144,000 going to have them powers to where they're going to be able to take care of everybody. It says, thus saith Yahweh, a voice was heard in Ramah, lamentation and bitter weeping, Rachel weeping for her children, refused to be comforted for her children because they were no more. It's going to be a lot of death. It says, thus saith Yahweh, restrain thy voice from weeping and thine eyes from tears, for thy work shall be rewarded. Meaning that a lot of the Israelites that went through the times of tribulation and denied the grain of rice, was cast out, was homeless, they got rewarded. They was taken care of. Yahweh Shem Yahshai made them forget all their sorrows. That's paradise, man. And he took care of them. Everything that they wanted, anything that they wanted, they had it. While the rest of the 2/3 is wandering around lost. They in trouble. They in peril. They running for their lives. They being torn apart, or they being denied by the prophets. The Israelites, they was taken care of. They even forgot about their troubles. That's how good Yahweh Shem Yahushai was to them. That's how good it was. They forgot. So it says, thus says Yahweh, weeping. It says, restrain the voice from reaping and thine eyes from tears. It says, for thy work shall be rewarded. You're going to be rewarded in the end, saith Yahweh, and they shall come back from the land of the enemy. Meaning that we're going to be gone. We're not going to no longer happen to worry about this. When we cast out, for those of us that make it to the hour of temptation, when you deny that grain of rice, when you deny that, when you finally get cast out of society, that's going to be the true freedom. And that's going to be your escape from the land of the enemy. and there is hope in thine end, says Yahweh. It says that thy children shall come back to their own border. We're going to be okay. I have surely heard Ephraim bemoaning himself thus. Thou hast chastened me, and I was chastised. As a bullock unaccustomed to the yoke, turn thou me, and I shall be turned. For thou art Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, my God. So in truth, the person, Yahweh is the one who imprisoned us, and Yahweh can set us free. It's that simple. Surely after I was turned, I repented, and I was instructed. I smote upon my thigh. I was ashamed, even confounded, because I abhor the reproach of my youth. That's right. So when we understood the Bible, we understood the truth. We understood why we was put in the part that we put in our put in the situation that we was put in, why we suffered greatly, why we went through what we went through. We had to slap ourselves like, damn, I didn't know I was that bad. I was bad. But I changed. I got better, and now I understand. So it says, Ephraim, my dear son, is he a pleasant child? It says, for since I spoke against him, I do earnestly remember him still. Therefore my heart is troubled for him. I have surely have mercy upon him. I will surely have mercy upon him, says Yahweh, because the time is coming. So Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is like, for those of them that believe, I'm going to remember them. Set thee up waymarks, make thee high heaps. Set thine heart toward the highway, even the way thou which wentest. Turn back, O Virgin of Israel. Turn back to these thy cities. Meaning, go back to what you know. Go back to the Bible. Go back to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. It says, how long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? This for those that don't listen. It says, for Yahweh have created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. That's right. So this is talking about all those men. Because the daughter actually go into the men of the Lord. It says, and that is true. Women is choosing the men. Men is no longer choosing the women. And the women been ripping and running and having control of a lot of things in the world, and they've been treating men like garbage. So when it talks about, backsliding daughter, it's talking to the men of Israel. I have created a new thing in the earth. It says, a woman shall compass a man. It says, thus says Yahweh, Lord of armies. It says, the God of Israel. It says, as yet they shall use this speech in the land of Judah and in the cities thereof, when I shall bring them from captivity. It says, Yahweh bless thee. It says, O inhabitation of justice in the mountain of holiness. It says, and there shall dwell in Judah itself. It says, and all the cities thereof together, husbandmen, and they shall go forth with flocks. For I have satiated the weary soul, and I have replenished every sorrowful soul. That's true. Everything is going to be replaced. Everything that Yahweh took is going to be replaced. It says, if Yahweh giveth, Yahweh taketh away. So you got to understand that balance. It says, upon this I awaked, and I beheld, and my sleep was sweet unto me. It says, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that I will sow the house of Israel and the house of Judah with the seed of man and with the seed of the beast. And it shall come to pass that I have watched over them to pluck up and to break down and to throw down and to destroy and to afflict. So I will watch over them to build, to plant, said Yahweh. And those days they shall say no more, the fathers have eaten our sour grape, and the children's teeth are set on edge. I don't get that one. It says, but everyone shall die from his own iniquity, and every man that eateth the sour grape, his teeth shall be set on edge. Behold, the days shall come that I will, saith Yahweh, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, my covenant which they broke. All them laws, they all been done away with. It says, although I was a husband to them, saith Yahweh. It says, but this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, says Yahweh. I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their heart, and will be their God, and they shall be my people. So he reestablished that. And that come later. That part come later. But he reestablished the covenant that we will be taken care of, and our sins will be forgotten only if we come into the new covenant and we be with him. So that's what's happening now. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know Yahweh, for they shall all know me, from the least of them to the greatest of them, saith Yahweh. For I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sins no more. So that's the best part about the children of Israel, is that they can be forgiven. That's the best part. Now, the scary part for the rest of the nations is that they don't have a covenant with the Lord, so they can't be forgiven of their sins. They can't. So all the full weight and the full might, the full punishment is going to come down on them. And it don't matter if they get hit by a nuke or not. They still going to suffer a great punishment. A great punishment. Those of them that survived the nuclear event and their nation was probably damaged a little bit, they still going to have to go into a serious slavery. And they're going to have to reaccount for all the sins that they've done against the children of Israel. It's going to be bad for them, bro. And for the white man, he cannot be forgiven. He cannot have an agreement. He wants an agreement with Yahweh. He wants a covenant with the Lord, but he can't get one. He just can't get one. And that's what's making him mad. Like, damn, I can't be his child. I can't do no business with Yahweh. I can't do anything with him. This is as far as I can get with Yahweh, because a part of the agreement is that he would get the world. He got the world. But that's all he got. That's the problem. That's all he got. So the covenant, the covenant come with so much more, especially this new covenant. And now Yahweh is taking in everybody and cleaning them up and getting them ready for these times. So it says, thus saith Yahweh, who giveth the sun for light by day, and the ordinance of the moon and the stars for light by night, who divideth the sea when the waves thereof roar, and Yahweh, Lord of armies is his name. If those ordinances depart from me, saith Yahweh, then the seed of Israel shall cease from being a nation before me forever. So it says, and the moon and the sun and the stars, they are permanent. They are forever. So he said, as long as the moon, the sun, and the stars there, then the nation of Israel will be with me forever. So all of the nation of Israel as a whole is with the Lord forever. It's never going to stop. This is a permanent covenant. The new covenant is a permanent covenant. It's done. So it says, thus saith Yahweh, if heaven above can be measured and the foundations of the earth searched out beneath, it says, I will cast off all the seed of Israel for all they have done. It says, saith Yahweh, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that the city shall be built to Yahweh from the tower of Hananiel unto the gate of the corner. I don't understand that part. It says, and the measuring line yet go forth opposite it upon the hill of Jerib, and shall compass about Goth. It says, in the whole valley of the dead bodies and of the ashes, and all of the fields of the brook of Kidron, unto the corner of the horse gate toward the east, shall be holy even unto Yahweh. It shall not be plucked up nor thrown down any more forever. It's over with. It's over with. And that's how special the children of Israel are. Y'all are special people, you know. So, you know, you should come back to Yahweh Shem outside. Come back to the Lord, man. Yahweh got many blessings and many promises and many things that he's about to do. And it's going to be so splendorous. There's going to be so much going on that during these times when these demonic times do take place, it's going to be like heaven for the chosen. It's going to be like heaven for them. They're not even going to care about all that stuff that's happening. They're going to be protected. They're going to be taken care of, you know. For those of them that come into the fold, they're going to be saved. They're going to be redeemed. It's going to be a lot that's going to be happening, bro. It's going to be a lot, bro. So it's just, you know, knowing that truth and knowing what's going on, a lot of this stuff that's happening right now, and a lot of work that a lot of us is trying to put in, and the people that we're trying to help is worthwhile, you know, because we know that when the time comes, we're going to be taken care of. And everything that Yahweh took from us, he's going to give back and even more. And the wonders and the rewards and the blessings that the Lord is going to give, it's no telling. It's no telling. He got stuff that's beyond us. Wonders and blessings and love that's beyond our understanding, you know. So that's a good thing, you know. But I'm about to get ready to close out. You know, as far as I'm concerned, it's the end of my little video. I'm about to go and continue my run. I come out here and I do my little thing, and, you know, I try to get a word to anybody that I see. You know, whether they want it or not, it's up to them. You know, as far as I'm concerned, that's just what it is. You can do the best that you can. And that's just what it is. I'm not in a public place. I'm just where people happen to pass by and I just happen to ask them. You know, if they're not busy, they want to learn something, or just simply just giving it to them, because everybody knows about the truth now. Everybody know about it. You know, so it's up to them whether they want to pick it up or not. So it's just like, you know, I'm not forceful. I'm not all loud. I'm just here, and when you want the truth is here, I'm just gonna present it to you, slap it away. That's on you. You know, Yahweh gonna remember this. I ain't gotta worry about it. You know. But with that, calling Yahweh Shem Yahushai in the name Yahushai. Much love to Israel. And it's on to the next video. Shalom.